Hey guys, Eric here with Hard 31. We're on day 28. A few more days to go, guys. Hang in there strong. Going to Proverbs 28 today. One of them just grabbed me today because it applies to something going on in my life right now. So Proverbs 28:13. He who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will find compassion. So right now, a few weeks ago, I turned in some of my tax stuff to my accountant, and I found out after looking at it that he's been allocating some of my charitable contributions incorrectly. And so I could keep it going and you justify it that the government doesn't deserve it. I could say all these things, but I know it's not right. I know it's something that's not correct with my taxes. So I need to make that correction because, you know, no matter what's going on in the world, how crazy things are and how scary things can seem, the best way to be safe and feel peace is to walk with the Lord and be in obedience. And when you're cheating on your taxes, or you're fudging your numbers, or you're doing things that you know are not right, you're stepping away from the Lord. You're setting yourself up for discipline, for some type of consequence. And so one of the things I've learned in my walk with the Lord is everything matters to the Lord. You know, in the past I would like, oh, that's not such a big sin, or that's not mad, but how you do one thing's how you do everything. So when you know something's not right and it's not lined up with the Word of God, you have to deal with it. So tonight I will be sending my accountant an email because he hasn't started doing my taxes yet, and let him know about this thing that I caught that he missed. He didn't really miss it, but I do corporate and personal taxes, but he's been double counting it on both, and it can only count for one. So I need to make this right and not worry about, okay, now I'm going to pay more taxes, because my source is not money, it's the Lord. All right, and these are the tests in our Christian walk that where I believe the Lord sometimes, you know, are you really for me or not? Or are you for money? You know, these are the tests we have to pass in the Christian faith. They're not easy, but I've seen this before where I've trusted God and done the right thing, and I've always seen him come through for me. He's always batting 1,000. So this is a great passage. It just stuck to me this morning because I just realized this, and I need to make it right. And so it was like, boy, I glommed onto that one. So that's my proverb for the day. So anything in your life that you know that's not right, you know, you got to flush it to the surface and flush it out. Confess it to the Lord, and then ask him to help you deal with it and deal with it. Put your trust in the Lord. Don't put your trust in the ways of the world or your own quote unquote wisdom trying to beat the system, because eventually all things are going to, you know, you can't hide something from the Lord. And you always see whenever you do something deceptive or wrong, it always comes to the surface and bites you in the ass somewhere down the road. My other one today is Matthew 7. It says, it's Matthew 7:3. This is actually one of my favorite ones too. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but you do not notice the log that's in your own eye? Or how do you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So it says verse 7, Matthew verse 7, 3 through 5. This is in the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus' great sermon full of wisdom, and it just kind of rocked the world. Like nobody ever heard somebody preach like this. But isn't this so easy? We're so quick to criticize other people and put the lens on them when we really should be looking in the mirror. And I can think of no better example, like early on in my marriage. This is my second marriage to Kim. And both of us brought a lot of baggage in, but all I could sit there and do is focus on what she wasn't doing and keeping score. Well, if she does this, then I'm going to do this. And if she does this, I deserve this. If she goes out with her friends, and I'm out at night with my friends, and I do this, and she doesn't do this. The scorekeeping thing, which is a bunch of crap. All right. I think it never works. One of my old pastors said that. He said, scorekeeping never works. And that really has stuck through me to this day. And my marriage did not start getting better till my spiritual mentor came into my life and started to straighten me out. Like God brought this guy into my life to kind of give me the spiritual slap across the face and realize how selfish I'd been, and that I needed to work on myself first. So when I started to work on myself and not worry about my wife, guess what? My marriage got better. Big surprise there, right? So all of us, we don't want to be like those. If you guys remember the Muppet Show, you don't want to be like those two guys, the old guys in the booth that they just rip on everything, just negative. And you see a lot of people like that, where they criticize everything, nothing's ever right, and those people are miserable to be around. You know, look for the good in people, and then look for the things you need to correct in yourself. And I would say this. Another thing I would add on is, don't get down on yourself. God created you for a purpose. He says you're fearfully and wonderfully made. and he's faithful to complete a work in you. He's just going to flush things out that aren't going to bear fruit. Deceptive behavior, not going to bear fruit. Lying on your taxes. Okay, here comes an audit, and then they know, I'm sure they know when people are trying to deceive them. When you do things dishonestly, it's always going to come back to bite you in the ass. I prefer to sleep at night. One thing I know as a business owner, I see a lot of business owners do is they 1099 their employees, for example. And a lot of people in my industry do that, but if they ever get audited, they're going to owe a lot of back payroll taxes. It's not going to be pretty. And they're doing it to cut corners, save some money. And they know after you tell somebody why you don't do that, they still do it. That's on you. If you're ignorant and God brings something to your attention, you need to deal with it. Simple as that, guys. I hope this blesses you guys. Let's do it a few more days. Let's get after it. God bless you guys.